All right, thanks everyone. Please, if we can all mute our mic, please. I'll really appreciate that. Um, all right, so let me start. We can start now. All right, thanks for joining. My name is Akion Ladeji and happen to be the founder of Learn with Pride. And what we do at Learn with Pride is help people that wants to transition from non-IT. Olawale Peters, I'm recording, and this recording will be made available on the WhatsApp group and also on our YouTube channel. All right, so thanks. All right, so yeah, help we help people that wants to transition from either non-IT or non-technical into the IT space. So we run different IT programs, trainings, ranging from project management to business analysis, Scrum Master, product owner, data analysis, DevOps engineer, software automation, IT support. So we run like 7 different IT trainings. And what makes us special or different is we don't focus on theories. We are not training you to go and pass a certification exam. Please, if you can all mute our mic, please. I'll really appreciate that. If we can all mute our mic, please. Thanks. All right. So what makes us different is we are not preparing you to go and pass one certification exam. We focus more on practical training, getting your hands dirty, like a day in the life of an IT support analyst. That's what we concentrate on, because at the end of the day, what the recruiters or employers are looking for, it's someone who can do the job, not someone who knows the theory and has never practiced it before. So that's why we focus on practical training and working on a project as well, so that you can be up to you can meet all the expectation when you start applying for jobs. All right, so the company has been going strong for the last 4 years, and we've had so many success stories as well over the years, but today we will be concentrating on IT support. So since after COVID, the IT industry has been really buzzing, because um, many people now realize that either they are looking for family life, work family life balance, or they are looking for remote jobs, and the only place that can happen is in IT sector. If you're working as a nurse or a care worker or a security, you still have to physically go in and do your job. Well, if you are working in IT sector, most of the jobs now are remote, and that happens. We saw those changes just after COVID as well. So it doesn't matter where you live, whether you live in Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe, UK. If you have the necessary skills and knowledge, you can secure a remote job. You can live in Nigeria and secure a remote job as an IT analyst or IT support analyst with a company in Australia. That's the position you can put yourself, but that can only happen after you know what you're doing, after you've acquired the right skills and knowledge for you to do the job. And that is why we are here to pass the knowledge across to you, so that when you start applying for jobs, there is 70% chance, 70 to 80% chance that after this process or this program you want to embark with us, there's certainty, it's 70, 80% that you are going to secure a role. That is how confident we are in what we provide as well. So quickly, not to waste your time, because today is Saturday. I know most of us, we've got plans for today. I have few slides to go through. After that, I'm going to be calling um, the facilitator, which happens to be my friend, that will take you on the journey, if you are to enroll with us, to shed more light into the life of an IT support analyst, the benefits, the advantages, and why this is the right time for you to make the move. You don't need the technical skill. You don't have to, it doesn't matter your background, whether you've been working as a technical analyst, probably whether you come from a technical um, angle or you don't come from technical, it doesn't matter, because the course, the program will take you from the very scratch. So it doesn't matter. All that is required from you is your determination and, the hunger, the fire in you for learning and to make the change happen. So I'll be going through my slide, and after I'll call him to shed more light. And finally, we are going to open the line for questions and answers. So if you have any questions you want to ask, that'll be the right time for you to ask your question. All right, so quickly, let me just go through my slide. Why IT support analyst? In the UK, the average salary is around 40,000. And when you are looking for, if you are considering a contract role, you'll be looking at average of £300 a day. If you're getting a £300 a day average, that is like £6,000 a month. That is a lot of money. Even if the contract is just for 3-4 months, that is still a lot of money. And that is the position you can put yourself, after you've acquired the right skills and knowledge with us. Also, you can work remotely from any part of the world. As I said earlier on, whether you live in Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe, UK, Australia, you can secure a remote job, in another country, and you'll be getting paid, in foreign currency as well. So that is why it is buzzing. That is why this is actually the right time, to make the move. All right, going on. If you are to come on board with us, what will be the roadmap? How is the journey going to look like? Let's take a look at that quickly. So the training will be 6 to 8 weeks. That will be the duration of the training, which will run twice a week. And that will include both the practical and the work experience as well. Everything is combined together. And the facilitator that will take you on the journey has got many years of experience, over 15 years of experience in this industry. So if you are looking for the right person to take you on this journey, with the guarantee 70-80% that you secure a job at the end of the day, he is the right person to take you on that journey. So after the training, I've talked about the project. You'll be working on a project as well. After the 6 weeks, you'll be placed on a project that you have to do individually, and all of that. Then after that, so you've done the training, you've passed through the training and the project, the practicals, everything. So you know how to perform the role of an IT support analyst. At that stage, you know what you are doing. At that stage, if you are to secure a job, you'll be able to survive on that job because you know what it entails, to act as an IT support analyst. But if this stage, which is the optimization of your brand, if it's not done right, then you'll be wondering that, what, I've done the training, I know what I'm doing now, but I'm not getting the calls. You are not getting the calls because you are not visible in the market. And if you are not visible in the market, no recruiters will see you. And if they don't see you, they won't call you. If they don't call you, you won't get any interview. That is why it is so important, if you'll be applying for remote jobs, for international jobs, to revamp your CV to international standard. It is very, very important. Also, your LinkedIn as well needs to be optimized, because LinkedIn has now become, a popular marketplace for recruiters, professional marketplace for where recruiters now goes to, to add on. So it is very essential for you to be in that space as well. So your CV has to be revamped, your LinkedIn has to be optimized. Also, you have to upload your CVs on all job sites, IT related job site. And not only uploading your CV on those sites, you have to make your CV searchable as well, because it is not all jobs that are posted online. Some recruiters just go to websites, just to scan through whether they'll see a suitable candidate, and they just give you a call. So that is why it is essential for you to make your CV searchable. All these things will show you how to go about them when you enroll on the course. So now that you've done the CV, you've done the training, you've gone through the practicals, you've revamped your CV and your LinkedIn as well, then the calls will start coming in. Recruiters can see you, they'll start calling you for job. Are you available for job? We saw your CV or your profile on LinkedIn. They'll chat you up to know your availability, and they'll start putting you forward for interviews. Also, why this is going on one side, on the other side as well, you are manually applying for jobs on site as well, on website as well. At least you have a target. Let's say every day you want to apply for 30 jobs. That is your target, 30 jobs manually, aside those ones that are calling you from LinkedIn or those that saw your CV online as well. You have to give yourself a target daily on how many jobs you want to start applying for as well. So after applying for jobs, then I'm sure after that you start getting interviews. They'll start booking you for interviews. And that is another stage that we help you with. We help you with interview preparation, because that is so essential, because your success is also our success. It's not about the money we are collecting from you. The joy at the end of the day is for you to be able to secure your desired job at the end of the road. So one of the ways we help you is through the interview preparation as well, so that you can go into that interview with confidence and ace the interview. Why on this point quickly, if you are to enroll, what are the things that you get as part of the package when you enroll with us? So as I said earlier on, you get the practical training, you get to work on a project, you get mentorship, you get the support from us, you get interview preparation from us. Also, all our courses are CPD registered. Yes, it is being recorded. All our courses are CPD registered, meaning they meet the professional standard, and the certificate that you get at the end of the day, at the end of the program, is recognized in over 60 countries. The certificate that you're going to get is recognized in over 60 countries. And that can go on your LinkedIn, that can go on your CV as well, just to showcase what you've been able to achieve over the years. And finally, we give you a work reference for the duration that you are with us. So for the period you're with us, we are going to give you a work reference, which you can put on your CV, and we'll be more than happy to reference you when you eventually get that role. So those are the benefits that comes with the package. Those are the things that comes with the package. You'll be added to an alumni group where you can, because you need someone at your corner when you are going through career transition, someone you can rely on, someone you can go to, where you can get support. So you have to, like-minded professionals, you have to mingle with them. So we have a platform like that you can join and belong there as well. So those are the benefits that comes with the enrollment. All right, so quickly, let me just show you a quick chart about the company. So the company, since 2020 till date, in all of our courses, we've managed to enroll over 20,000 from 2020 till date. And you can see the stats in front of you as well. So if we break it down, from this year till date, those are the numbers. So January till date, you can see the start on your screen. For business analysis, we've had over 750 enrollment. For Scrum, we've had over 1,000 enrollment, and so on and so forth. And generally, company-wide, 85% of our students are currently working. They've secured a role. In public sector, we have like 50% working in the public sector at the moment, and in the private sector, we have 35%, while 50% are, they are employment ready, still applying for jobs and all of that. And this can only happen, after you acquire the right skills, the right knowledge, and you don't procrastinate, because that's one of the major problems that we have. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next month. I don't have the money now, I'll do it in 3 months time. When it comes to investing in ourselves, we find we are reluctant in investing in ourselves, whereas that investment can yield you, triple the money that you paid for the training tomorrow. You know, majority, you know, they won't play the lottery, but they wish that, oh, I played that lottery yesterday, probably I would have been the one to win that billions or that millions that was won, but you never played. You know, it's the same thing with trainings as well. Probably you saw your friend that took the bold step, you know, to enroll on the training probably 5 months ago, and now is earning good, and you're now wishing that, oh, we enrolled together, probably me too, I'll be in this situation now, but you never enrolled, you know. So that is why it is better to make you know, when the sun still shines, you know, take advantage of what is right in front of you. And I can assure you, it will be the best decision you ever made, you know, this year for enrolling. All right, quickly, let's go through the jobs. So I got this job online as a support analyst. This role is paying between 200 and 250 a day. So you are getting 250 a day. That's 5,000 pounds a month. I'm using UK as a reference because that is where I live, but it doesn't matter wherever the country, you know, you're still well paid, because I believe the aim or the purpose of you enrolling on this training is to be able to secure a remote job from international companies. So is it that you are getting paid in dollars or you're getting paid in pounds, you know, if that is the aim, if that is what you are aiming at. The second one is paying between 500 and 600 pounds a day. And the funny thing is, all these rules, all these things they are requesting for as your roles and responsibilities, at the end of this training, you'll be able to do all of them. You know, you'll be able to do all the things that they are requesting for that you should know. This is another one paying between 300 pounds and 400 pounds a day. Getting 400 pounds a day, that is like 8,000 pounds a month. That is still a lot of money. Even if the contract is for 2 months or 3 months, I still tell you that is still a lot of money. All right. So before I hand over quickly, if you want to enroll, the cost of the training is $7.99, but we are giving 40% discount. And also, this is another thing that we do. After the 40% discount, is only half payment that is required to start, and the other half can be paid within 2 to 3 weeks after you started. So you can take the decision if you want to enroll and take advantage of the 40% discount. Then the number on your screen, you can message on the number on your screen, whether you have any questions you want to ask regarding this enrollment or any questions at all regarding the course. You know, you are more than welcome to send a WhatsApp message on the number on your screen. The start date for this will be the 12th of August. So it will be starting on the 12th of August, and it will be twice a week rather. That will be Saturdays and Sunday. Saturdays 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the morning, and Sunday that will be in the evening. I think 6 to 8 or 7 to 9 in the evening UK time. So for now, you can take a screenshot on the number on your screen, or you can save it on your phone. That will be the best number to contact after the end of the session today. So for now, I'm going to be pausing and I'm going to be inviting my dear friend, Mr. Anila, to talk more about what it entails to be an IT support analyst, whether you need the technical background to become one, or you don't have to be technical, or you don't have to be a techie, to embark on the journey. It's going to shed more light and the benefits attached to become an IT analyst. So for now, thanks everyone. I'm going to stop sharing. Over to you.
Hello. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. 1 second. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can.
Yes, so I'm just gonna turn my camera on. and then you can see me. Okay, so my name is Sharaf Ayinla. My colleague has already told you a lot of what we do as an organization. Learn with Pride, we've been helping people in different aspects of IT, people looking to change their career, people who are completely new in IT, or people who've been working in IT but looking to do something totally different to what they've been doing before. So this specific course is around being an IT support analyst. So the term IT support analyst, it is interchangeable for various other titles, depending on the location, depending on which part of the world you are. An IT support analyst in the UK could be called something else in Canada. It could be called something else in America. It could be called something else even in the same UK. You might look at the job description for an IT support analyst, and you might find 5, 6, 7 different unique job titles. But when you look at the job description, you realize that they are all basically doing the same. So sometimes the name can be sometimes certain names are given to certain job to present a different view of what the role is or what it entails. So yes, being an IT support analyst is very rewarding. I've been working in IT for actually over 20 years. But I've been in the UK for about 20 years, but I've been working in IT prior to coming into the UK. And it's been absolutely rewarding. At the moment, I work in the NHS. I work as a AI Center systems manager. So I manage AI Center systems. There's a London Center for AI. That's where I work at the moment. I've been there for about 3 years. But prior to that, I worked in the pharmaceutical industry. I've worked in private organizations as well. So yes, I've done it all, starting from being an A+ engineer. I've worked as a database administrator as well. I have a degree in computing and information systems. So I started out with database. I do understand how database works, database development, database design, and everything basically in between. So yes, going back to IT support analyst. I mean, you can see on my screen who is an IT support analyst? What does it entail? Basically, the IT support analyst is to ensure that an organization that you're a part of is functioning as it should in terms of helping the business from the technology side, from the IT side. So as an IT analyst, you are an expert when it comes to anything to do with software, application. Sometimes you have a little bit knowledge about infrastructure as well. It all depends on what your day-to-day activity is. So and as an IT support analyst, most of what we do is to troubleshoot issues. Sometimes we might fix them. Sometimes we might need to pass the fix to another party to fix, either by a third party supplier. So for example, now, if I work as an IT analyst and we have an issue with a Microsoft product, we might have a specialist in that particular, say maybe Active Directory, for example. Maybe you're a system administrator, but you as an IT analyst, you might be part of diagnosing what the problem is, but actually implement the fix might not necessarily be your duty. It could be, or maybe not. So it might be the case that you just need to determine what the problem is, and then you can pass your discovery to the next team that will fix whatever the problem is, or it might be the case that you need to pass it to a vendor. Maybe you have the service being provided to you by a vendor, but your job basically is just to monitor, provide log files, provide error logs to the third-party supplier, and then they come in and implement the fix, or they might just send you the fix and say, this is what you need to do. Can you apply this? Make sure the users are not logged in, and then the problem will be fixed. So, but in order to be able to do your role effectively as an analyst, you need to have a whole bunch of skill sets. You need to be able to troubleshoot issues. You need to be able to listen to what problems users are having and be able to think logically as to what could be the problem. So in order to be able to do all of this, you need to have the right skill set. You need to get a grip on how to use command line. If your computer is frozen, for example, you need to do something. You need to know how to navigate yourself. You need to know about network drives. You need to know about fixing things using command line, using PowerShell. You need to get an understanding of operating systems, Windows, Linux, Unix, a whole bunch of things, because you work in a dynamic environment whereby your day-to-day role might mean that you're supporting multiple systems on multiple platforms. It might be cloud-based application you're supporting. You need to have a little bit knowledge about supporting cloud-based application. If you're using a normal physical data center, you need to have the right skill set as well to be able to look at problems and determine how do we go about fixing it. If another example, you have a problem within an organization that's affecting just 1, 2, 3 users, the way you troubleshoot that is different from the way you troubleshoot an issue whereby it's global, it's affecting multiple users across multiple sites. I mean, working in the NHS, you have an NHS organization whereby, so the NHS is the National Health Service in the UK. So whereby as part of an organization, they have multiple sites. Sites could be 300 miles away from this site, but it's still the same organization. They still log onto the same domain. They use the same system. They use the same resource. So a user can report a problem 300 miles away. It might be the case that the user local to where you are don't even have the issue. And you need to be able to ask the right questions. You need to be able to dig deep to be able to get to what is the reason for this problem. You need to be able to ask questions without seeing what the users are saying. Sometimes users might reach out to you either by email or by phone call, and you can't really see what they're looking at in front of them. But with the knowledge and skill set that you have, you should be able to propose solution to help users without being able to see what they see sometimes. If they give you the right information, although sometimes users don't always do that, they tell you one thing when in fact it's the opposite of that. But you should be able to, you should know enough to know when someone is telling you what is incorrect. So those are the kind of skill set that you need to have fundamentally to be successful in this role. I mean, it sounds a little bit, it's not complicated. I can assure you that. I can tell you as a fact, I've got several people with absolutely no knowledge of IT, and they've been coached and shown how to do things, practical experience, and they've gone on to get jobs within their first, second interviews, most times first interview, because this kind of job, the interview can only go one way. So we know exactly what kind of questions you'll be asked at the interview. And this is what we prepare you for. How do you troubleshoot issues? How do you deal with difficult customers? How do you relate with third-party suppliers. These are the kind of things that we will take you through as part of this training course. So now to go back to what I have on my screen, like I already said, part of the day-to-day of an IT support analyst is to diagnose issues regularly, because you're working with a whole bunch of other people, system administrators, database analysts, network specialists, cybersecurity people, different people. So those people will have issues which will come to our desk to get to the root of, to get to what's the reason for this problem. And sometimes we have monitoring in place. A lot of organizations have monitoring in place whereby we are able to detect problems even before they start. So you're not going to be left on your own. It's not, there isn't 100% specific approach to every problem. Two analysts can troubleshoot the same issue differently. That doesn't mean that they're wrong. It's just the way that we apply the skill set that we have is different, but none of it is wrong. 5 different IT analysts might approach solving a problem or troubleshooting a problem in 5 different ways. It all depends on how knowledgeable they are. And as IT analysts, we learn every day. We literally learn every day. And the good thing about this role as well, the good thing that I like about this role is you're not only restricted to the work environment to be able to use the skills that you have. You can use the skills that you have even at home. If you have a family, if you've got kids, the kind of skills that we have, it helps to safeguard your home IT as well, your own internet. If you have maybe network IP security cameras, it helps you because you understand a lot more. You understand how IT works fundamentally. It helps with making your home internet better. It helps if you need to prevent access to certain websites on your home network. It helps you to put limits in place if you want to, so that maybe your kids are not allowed to use the internet at certain times of the day. It helps if they've broken something on your computer or their computer and you want to fix it. So the skill set that you get in this role, it's not only limited to the workplace. You help friends and family. There are countless number of times that I've helped different friends and family in remote part of the world, as long as they have access to the internet. It's just a case of installing some remote access tool, connect to their computer and tell them, okay, this is what needs to be done, or do it for them. If they have access to the internet, if they don't, then I can just basically talk them through and say, okay, can you go here? Can you type this? Can you type that? And 99% of the time, the problem has been fixed. So yes, as IT analysts, we diagnose issues. Once we get to the root of what the problems is or what the problems are, then we propose a solution. We propose a solution based on the knowledge that we have. So I was chatting with someone just yesterday. She had a problem with her computer, and she's an elderly person, so there's a limit to what I could ask her. So I was basically just asking her to send me a screenshot of what she can see on the screen. So I was able to get to the root of the problem. The SSD drive that she had on the computer was corrupted, had a corrupted firmware. So I knew what the solution is, would be to just replace the hard drive, which is very easy. We can just order one on Amazon. I can either talk her through replacing it if she's up to it, or I could find another, but at least we got to the root of the problem. So that is part of what we do as an analyst. Now, working as an IT analyst within the corporate world, within whichever organization you're part of, either private or public, there is something called the ITIL framework. I'm just going to quickly go to that part, ITIL framework. So ITIL framework basically, it manages IT services lifecycle. It's a standard framework that was developed in the UK and it's been adopted all around the world, which is to have a consistent framework of standard that manages IT services. So it helps with providing better services. It helps with providing better support, and it helps the business through any changes that they have. So things are done in a way and manner that is not destructive to the overall goal and aim of the organization. So as you can see, it helps from service strategy. What is the business aim? What is the goal of the business? What are they trying to do? It helps with the design as well. So because the framework is applied right from the fundamental stage, service design, strategy, transition, operation, and ongoing service improvement and support.
Yeah.
So IT framework is, sorry, excuse me. Can you please mute if you're not talking? So IT framework there's a certification for it. I think currently it should be version 4. But again, this framework is good it's something that it's good to have, but it's not necessarily required for you to get a job. A lot of organizations will ask you if you have ITIL certification, but it's not in itself something that will get you a job. You might have worked in an organization that uses ITIL framework, but have not taken that certification. So we are not, we would tell you about ITIL framework. We will go through what it entails, how it's been applied, what are the difference between incidents and the different things that we can talk about in IT. But like I said, if you want to have the certification, it's something that you can do on your own. But again, it's not, there are countless people that works in IT and they haven't taken any certification whatsoever. That's the good thing about IT. It's all about what you can do. And that is what this program is all about. It's about giving you the actual hands-on skills to be able to succeed in an IT organization. So we'll talk about IT framework as part of the course, and we'll talk about how it's applied, etc. But again, like I said, if you need to have the certification, maybe just to boost your confidence, it's very easy to study for it and take the examination if you want. So yes, let me go to the core of what this training will entail. So as an IT support analyst, there are quite a few skills that is required, but not limited to though. Number one on there says communication. You need to be able to communicate with the users, with the end customers, with your colleague effectively. You need to be able to communicate effectively because you're not working in a silo, you're working with other people. It might be the case that you'll be the one to troubleshoot an issue, and somebody else might be the one to fix it, to apply the fix. So part of what you do in your role is to be able to document and pass information across to the relevant team the right way. You need to provide them what they need to be able to carry out their own path of applying and fix. So there are so many instances whereby in a work environment whereby an analyst has not done their job properly and they've passed it on to somebody else to do their part. But because I didn't do mine properly, it's not possible for my colleague to do what he needs to do properly. So say, for example, now, an organization has multiple data warehouse, and maybe they need to extract data from it on a regular basis, maybe on a daily basis. And maybe one of the data warehouse, they can't connect to one of the data warehouse. It could be for a whole bunch of reasons. Now, I as an analyst, I might need to do some investigation, do some digging, make sure that the connection, string, everything is fine. We've got space on maybe an FTP repository where a particular data that's been extracted needs to be deposited. Maybe it's full, maybe the destination drive is full, maybe there isn't space. It might be a job for me to make sure that there is enough space so that data warehouse retrieval job will succeed. And maybe it might be the case that the database is full. Maybe the database file needs to be expanded. And that's a job for the database analyst or the database administrator who is a colleague at work. But I haven't provided the right information in terms of which database needs to be fixed, what's the name of the server, etc. What that means is the time of taking to troubleshoot the issue, pass it to my colleague. My colleague now doesn't have enough information to do their job. And now that has to come back to me, and perhaps I'm not available to pick it up immediately. And then the customer or the user, on the other hand, is waiting for a long time before they can get a fix to whatever issue they have. And this might impact on the business. So being able to communicate and ask the right question so that you have all the information in order to be able to propose a fix or pass the issue to the relevant team that will do what they need to do to fix the problem. That's important. As IT analysts as well, we need to be patient because people will get under your skin. They'll talk to you in a rude manner, although no organization will conduce such behavior, but at the same time, sometimes users or customers being rude to you, not necessarily it's because they want to be rude, it's just because they're having a difficult time trying to fix something or trying to access a particular service, and they're frustrated. It's normal to be frustrated. I'm pretty sure a lot of us, we've been there at one point or the other, whereby we're talking to IT support, or we had to call a customer service somewhere after waiting on the phone for, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 minutes. And it seems to you like the person on the other hand is not really listening to what you're saying. Maybe you have a problem with your home internet and you're saying A, it looks like they're not really listening to what you're saying. They get angry and they get upset, and that might reflect in the way they will talk at you. And you just have to keep your cool and tell them, look, I'm here to fix this problem for you. I'm here to help you. That's why you're calling me. So unless you are calm enough to tell me what the problem is, then I can help you. So yes, we need to be patient. Sometimes you're trying to help someone to fix an issue, and you tell them the same. You tell them, well, you can see it's right on your screen, on the right side at the top of your screen. And it's there, but they still can't see it. And it gets quite frustrating sometimes. And you just feel like pulling out your hair. But again, different people with different ability, you need to be calm and composed and patient. Again, you have to be emphatic as well. Empathic means you have to be able to put yourself in other people's shoe. So if you put yourself in their position in terms of the frustration they're going through, which is why they've called you, then perhaps you'll be able to give them better help, better support in trying to fix whatever issue they have. Yes, an IT analyst also has to be analytical in the way you think. You need to be able to think in a way such that you don't apply the same troubleshooting process to every problem. You need to be able to think and say, hang on, if one user is having a problem and another user is not having that problem within the same, maybe within the same office, and nobody else is reporting that issue. Okay, the problem could be local. It could be local to that user. It could be something to do with the user's account. It could be something to do with the user's computer. It could be something to do with the user's access rights. Whereas if multiple users are reporting the same issue across a wide range of location, then that tells you something else. Okay, it looks like there might be something to do, maybe the application server has a problem, maybe the IIS service has been installed. So you need to be able to analyze every problem and look at a way of solving it differently. Of course, the skill sets will be there, but if a user is telling you they're not able to log in, okay, you might start from is the computer connected to the internet? Is the network cable plugged in? There's so many times when users will say, well, I can't get access to my application or to my program. They might be able to log onto the computer because they're logging onto the computer locally. Maybe they already have a profile on the computer, but the computer doesn't have internet connectivity and they're not able to launch a particular program, a particular software that they need to be able to do their job. So you, as an analyst, these are kind of questions that you ask. You might need to do a ping on the computer, see if the computer is online, can you talk to it? Or sometimes you might need to ask the user to do something on their side as well. Tell them to bring a command, tell them to do a ping to a particular destination, tell them to do a path ping, etc. So yes, you need to be able to think analytically in order to get to the root of every problem. Again, these are some of the things, these are the things that we will prepare you towards with the skills that we will learn from this program. We're going to work on virtual computers. We're going to build virtually anyway. We're going to build computers. We're going to ask participants to bring their computer issues, their software issues. You have problem with an application, you have problem with your own internet. These are things that we will all think about and try to analyze, okay, if this user is having this problem, where do you think we should look first? Because that's the key thing. You need to be able to approach every problem from an analytical perspective and work your way up. So if you check A, it's not A, okay, let me check B, it's not B, let me check C. It might be that we have to look at the log files on the operating system, on Windows as well. So, but there are a lot of things that we will learn from this course that will make you a successful analyst. Customer service as well, what I already talked about, involves a lot of customer service, the communication parts, the patient's part, the empathy parts. They're all a subset of customer service. You need to be able to deal with people in a way not to alienate them from yourself. That's one of the things we need to do. And also organization, you need to be organized. You need to know how to structure your day such that you get things done effectively, efficiently. You need to be able to compartmentalize things in terms of, because you might deal with a lot of things at work. You might deal with a lot of issues. You might work with Active Directory. You might work with network related issues. You might work with software application. You might be working with the application packaging team. Maybe they're pushing software to computers within the organization. You might need to test things first within kind of like a testing environment before things are pushed to a production environment. So these are all the things that you will be doing on a daily basis. Again, depending on the organization where you work, depending on what you do, it helps. I'm not sure where or what kind of background the people that will come for the program will be, but if you have a knowledge of a particular sector, say for example, you work in logistics, but you're not working in IT logistics, but you just work in logistics, but you understand what it entails to work in logistics. Coming into IT with somebody with a logistic background, you have an edge working in IT within a logistic environment because you understand what is required in the front end. You understand what the managers, what they need to see. You understand what needs to be done to ensure that maybe all age trucks get to their destination. You understand what kind of data is required for the service to be able to operate the way it should. So yes, and additionally, as you can see on my screen, IT analysts, these are some of the things that we work with, not necessarily on a daily basis, but we need to have the absolute basic knowledge of this. Structured query language, SQL, you need this to be able to maybe just write simple queries, or maybe even just to read and interpret what some people have written in terms of a query language. Maybe somebody's trying to select data from a data warehouse, and you're not really debugging, but the fact that you understand what the language does or how it's constructed, it makes sense. So somebody might have typed an SQL query, and they're meant to put select at the top, or maybe they're meant to put from, or they're meant to put a join somewhere. It's very easy for you. It might be easy to spot, although in the real world, in the real environment, SQL queries tend to be a lot more voluminous, whereby if you're not really looking to specialize in maybe SQL Server or Oracle, or maybe you're an SSIS person, or maybe you're a reporting person, you might not really go in depth. But at the absolute minimum, we'll talk about structured query language. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about database, relational database knowledge, tables and columns and how it works, with the absolute minimum being Microsoft Excel. We'll talk about that. Again, programming language, Python might be a little bit more advanced, but again, there is a fundamental level of Python that everybody can learn. You don't have to be a guru or a wizard in Python, but again, it helps. C++, these are kind of programming languages that it helps sometimes at work to just debug little issues. Again, they will always have specialized resources to deal with some of these things. But if you have the fundamental, when you see a code, you say, okay, this is an HTML code. This is a C++ code. It helps. Relevant application knowledge and scripting skill. This goes back to what I said about if you work in a logistic environment, if you already use an application, maybe from the user perspective, it helps you. If you're working in IT, now you know what goes on in the front end, and now you're working in the back end. You're supporting the same application in the back end. It helps. A lot of IT analysts sometimes don't even interact with the front end at all. All they do is work in the back end, making sure that the system, the application is available. But in terms of using the actual application for whatever it's meant for, it's not their domain. But all they have to worry about is making the system, the software, available at all time with no disruption whatsoever. Also, relevant skills that we need to get will be scripting skills. Maybe you're working on a Unix environment. We'll try and install a Unix operating system as well. Just get some literally to hands-on experience, work with shells within Unix, Linux, etc. Telecommunication competency, again, yeah, this is mostly due to the fact that you'll be talking to people mostly over the phone or either by email. And sometimes you might not be able to get through by one of the either recommended or established means of communication. It might be the case that you need to improvise. Sometimes you might need to improvise, maybe to enable you to be able to get across to someone. You might, for example, now you might be not necessarily going to be the case, but I've been in a situation whereby you work in an organization, you're on site, you're in a location where there is in mobile phone connectivity. There might not even be a desk phone, but you have access to maybe internet, maybe the Wi-Fi. You need to improvise. You need to provide remote access to someone, to a vendor somewhere in America, and you need access to give them maybe remote control, and maybe the normal application suite that you need to use for that to work is not available. You need to be able to figure out another way to get that sorted. You might need to run some other piece of application. So this kind of skill set is good to have. Again, it's not going to be applicable in every scenario, but it's something that is good to have. Second to the last on there, IT management software proficiency. This is talking about mostly relating to tools that people use within an IT support perspective. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of ServiceNow, Infra, IT support. So these are hand-to-hand pieces of application that we use daily to manage our work. When you work in an organization, all the users within the organization that exist on Active Directory, they will be within either ServiceNow, for example, or Infra, or Jira, or any other application that the organization that we work in uses. So we use this to either log tickets, or to resolve issues, or to document whatever we have done, to assign tasks to other teams, to basically manage what we do on a daily basis. Again, we will go through at least one piece of such software. It doesn't matter that you have to have used every single one of them. It doesn't matter, because they all work the same. They all work the same in like, it's more like a collaborative piece of software. A user logs a problem, or department logs a problem. You can pick it up. You can say, this is what you've done. This is this is what seems to be the issue. If you need to assign it to another team, everything is done within this piece of software. So like I said, I think the most prominent will be ServiceNow, Oracle, they have one. You've got Jira, you've got quite a few other ones. You've got Infra, you've got IT Updesk, but we will go through at least one of these to give you a hands-on experience of what it's like using one of these management software. And again, diagnostic and troubleshooting skills, that is the core of what we do. In the real world, sometimes you might be lucky you work in an environment whereby you're not really, you're basically just monitoring. But the skills that you have is there for when there is an issue. And even when there is an issue, every organization has their knowledge base. They have the guideline of what you need to do. So you're not going to get a job as a database administrator, for example, and you start the job and the employer will tell you, okay, well, yeah, you're the database administrator. Can you run the backup? That's it. You're in your home. No, it doesn't work like that. It never works like that. Every organization have their procedures, how they do their things, including the steps of how they do their things. Because wherever you're coming from, they might do things differently. And if you try to do things the way it's been done where you're coming from, then you might cause more problem. It might be an issue. Maybe they might not be able to restore a backup. Maybe they don't back up to a physical tape. Maybe they back up to physical tape where you're coming from. Maybe they back up to a cloud location. Maybe they back up to a network drive somewhere. So every organization, whatever you do in any organization as a support analyst, you always following a set of guideline and procedure that is specific to that organization. Now, where your skills comes in is when you know that if you do certain things, it might have an unintended consequence. That is where your skill set will come in. that is where you know, okay, if I need to do this, I need to make sure that the previous process was successful before I do this, because if I do this without the previous process being successful, then it becomes a problem. So this is where the skills that we will learn, this is where it comes into play. And lastly, before I hand it back to my colleague, I did mention that we're going to talk about A+, and A+ is basically the skills you have when you are working with computer hardwares, etc. I mean, it's basically the fundamental skill set that you need to work as an IT technician, so to say. It's a basic foundation knowledge. And the reason why this is important for an IT analyst is you need to, what we do, IT analysts, we basically support system, software, and application, which are mostly either software or hardware. I wouldn't say hardware, mostly software, but the software resides on physical hardware, either in the cloud or a physical data center. So even the cloud is sitting on physical hardware somewhere in a remote location. So fundamentally, it helps us to understand how computers work. When I say how computers work, it helps us to understand what are the components of a computer, how do they work, how does the CPU work, how does memory work, how does having multiple memory on a computer work, what are the different types of CPUs, what are the different types of memory, what are the different types of storage devices, SSD, old hard drive, spinning disk. For some of us who are quite old, well, not quite old, don't let me use that word, for some of us who have been alive for a while, we know what floppy disks are, we know what zip disk are, how the technology has improved over the years, how computers evolved over the years, and how we get to where we are now. We talk about installing Windows operating system. Again, we can do this, we do this virtually, but we can also do this if some of us have maybe issues with our computers at home, be more than happy to bring it. If you have a computer that you believe is running slow, we'll be more than happy to troubleshoot it together as a team and suggest what can be done to make things better. So this is a way for us to learn. There are so many instances where I've gotten jobs where what has gotten me the jobs is not so much about what they want me to do at the work, it's about something else that I said at the interview, which showed to them that, okay, this person knows more than what we are asking him. So obviously, I've been to an interview whereby I was halfway in the interview and they asked the question, and I answered the question, and the interviewer said, okay, well, I don't think we should go further with this interview. And that was it. So yes, it's giving you the confidence and the tools that you need to be able to succeed is what this course is all about. We're not going to sugarcoat things for you, but again, you have to be committed to this. You have to do whatever is required for you to do in the classroom and outside the classroom. Everybody, we spend hours and hours on computers every day. So it takes you 2 minutes to practicalize or try out whatever has been taught in class. And the more you do it, the more you get proficient in all these troubleshooting skills. So yes, I think I will stop there for now. I might have missed 1 or 2 things, but I believe everyone will have gotten the overall gist of what this is about. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So this is the time now. If you've got any questions, please, you can kindly raise your hand and we'll take any question you might have. Also, you can drop your questions on the chat. But We would like to hear from you, so why not unmute yourself? Raise your hand, and I'll call you to ask your question. All right, so what tools are being taught in respect to becoming an IT support analyst?
So what tools are being taught?
Yeah, in respect to becoming an IT support analyst.
So like I said, for starters, we will talk about computers. When I say we'll talk about computers, this includes everything that's required in troubleshooting computer issues. And mostly we'll talk about how do we troubleshoot issue by looking into logs. How do we troubleshoot application issues? How do we troubleshoot issues related to hardware? That is on the actual computer side of things. Now, in terms of support, generally, we'll talk about database. We'll talk about database. We'll talk about what are the components of database. We'll talk about how do you troubleshoot issues related to database, database connection. We'll talk about some specific application program that could be used for troubleshooting software related issues. We'll talk about troubleshooting storage, network issues. We'll talk about things that basically, these are skills that you learn, but when you have certain issues, you know that this is what I need to do to get to the root of the problem. So for example, now, if a particular application, maybe there's an outage, users are not able to log into the domain, for example. Is the domain available? Maybe the domain is not available. How do you check to see if the domain is available? Can anyone log on? Can you ping the DNS server for the domain? Is it responding? It's not responding. Okay, maybe there's a problem. So the ability to be able to ping the DNS server for an organization to see if it's responding, that itself is a troubleshooting step. And in that case, in that specific scenario, you might have to use maybe a command line tool, or maybe using PowerShell. I hope that hangs out, but it's not exhaustive. There are so many things depending on what you're troubleshooting and where you are. It's always a combination of different tools.
All right, thanks for that.
Someone has raised their hand.
Yeah, Ayodele, you can unmute and ask.
Hello, my name is Adele.
Hi.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
I want to ask a question concerning, let's say, someone, like you said, someone that doesn't have to do with your background, for wherever way you're coming from, which
Yes.
means someone that doesn't have even the basic knowledge in IT. You
Yes.
said they are all welcome. Now, my question is, how do you want to bring that person up to the level of industrial standard? Do you understand I hope you understand what I mean?
Yes.
How do you want to bring the person up to the level that it can be employable,
Okay.
to be an IT support analyst?
Yeah.
Within, because like your explanation, 2 days in a week for 6 weeks,
Yeah.
that is 12 days.
Yes.
So within 12 days, how do you want to bring that person up to that standard?
Okay, thank you. I think that the key fundamental part of this is, if you're coming on the course, you're really looking to make that change. You're looking to make that move into IT. So you have to be committed. You have to, the skills that you learn here is not something that you learn and you put it aside, you put it somewhere, you leave it. No, it's something. You see, that's the beauty of, that's the thing about IT. The skills that you learn, you have to be using it regularly so that it sticks. Now, in terms of bringing you up to an organizational level of expertise, it's all about, how do I put it? It's all about, number one, you see, you won't get, for your first job, for example, for your first job, say you did this training for your first job, you probably wouldn't get a job that requires 10, 15 years of experience. No, you have to work your way up. And like I said, when it comes to IT support, there's a minimum required from you. And that is the ability to be able to troubleshoot, the familiarity with a host of software application and packages. Not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to be an expert in these things. A lot of IT roles as well, you learn on the job as well. It's an ongoing process. But for you to get into the role, you need to have some fundamental knowledge, which is, so for example, now you might go to an interview, they'll ask you questions like, what kind of remote support tools have you used before? Maybe you've only used TeamViewer before. Maybe you've used GoToMyPC. Maybe you've used PC Anywhere. So some of these applications, they might no longer be in existence, but they've been around for 20 years or maybe more. Or maybe the only one you know is TeamViewer. But that's the only thing they need to know. Okay, you've used TeamViewer before. You understand the concept. You understand the protocol of remoting onto a PC. Maybe you've used Microsoft Remote Desktop. It could just be one or two of these. It's all you need to mention. That's all they need to know, that, okay, yeah, you know what you're talking about. So no one is going to ask you, if you're applying for a support analyst role, depending on the sector, depending on the environment where you'll be working, they're not going to ask you stuff like, okay, have you used this one? Have you used that one? Have you used that one? Have you used that one? No, it doesn't matter. It's all about the concept. And the same thing applies to ServiceNow that I mentioned before as well. There are countless other IT kind of IT service management tools. But again, you don't necessarily need to have used all of them. It might just be that you only used one. But again, the way they work is you only need to know how it works, how to use it at work. You work in an environment where they're using one that you haven't used before. You always have the user guide. You always have the SOP. Every organization have their standard operation procedure, which you have to follow. And part of that involves bringing you on board in terms of, okay, this is how we do things. When we have this issue, this is how we troubleshoot it. Because some of these issues, occasionally you will get issues where it hasn't happened before. But in a lot of organizations, a lot of issues, they are basically, they've happened before, maybe, I don't know, 90, 80%. So there is already a pattern. There's already, when this happened, this is what the problem is. This is what we need to do as IT to be able to fix it. Maybe it might be a case that we need to log a call to a third party or to the vendor, to the supplier to be able to fix it. I know that's a lot of words, but did that answer your question at all?
Yes, yeah. Like if I can understand what you're saying, like the first thing you said is the person needs to be committed, which is very, very important.
Yes.
For even if you have the basic knowledge before, you still need to be committed for you to get yourself up to the standard.
Yes.
And again, you said, according to what you said, I can get it clearly that you mean you are going to hit the nail on the head. Like you are not going to, with this training, you are not parabolating, you are just going to push the person directly to what they need. You give them what they need. You train them the basic things they are going to be expected, not that they are going to be going into different kind of things within that 6 weeks. So I think I got you right. So my other question is, for someone that has been in UK,
Yeah.
but you know, as a student,
Yeah.
some of us are having this kind of issue, experience,
Yes.
UK experience, because most of this organization, I believe I've done some interviews before, and most of them, and they require UK experience, which
Yeah.
is really a big deal for someone that is just coming in and as a student and has never done anything, you know. I've never done much
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
UK apart from being a student. You know,
Yeah.
is there any way you can assist for
Mm.
someone that, let's say someone that has the knowledge already, all these things that you're saying, maybe someone has the knowledge to be an IT support analyst.
Yeah.
So is there any way you can assist the person to have the knowledge, maybe in an apprenticeship way, or in the kind of, maybe within the 6 weeks? Is there any way you can assist?
Okay,
Go on.
so if I should answer that question, yes, this is part of what we will do. We're not going to leave you in the lurch and say you should get on your way. No, this is part of what we will do in the sense that we will help you such that you will be presentable to wherever organization you're applying for a role. We'll give you we have companies that are registered, which are IT consulting company. So we have the opportunity to help you with this if that's required. But you can message the initial speaker and he can explain a little bit more about how that works.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, if I can add to that. So for any, as I said earlier on, we are going to give you a reference for the duration you're with us, and aside this as well, because there's a limit to what we can say, because the session is being recorded at the same time. But for any, you ought to just know this, that for every problem there's always a solution. And for better understanding, if you still want further clarification, you can message the number on your screen afterwards, and I'll be more than happy to explain to you in details. But there's no problem regarding that, so to say.
Okay.
We've got a few people with their hands up as well.
Yeah. So Olawale, you raise your hand,
Okay.
Peter.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Olawale, and my question is very, very similar to what the last person that asked a question just asked. I'm a cybersecurity technology MSc holder,
Brilliant.
and hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. I said brilliant. Yeah.
Thank you. And then when I got to the UK, I was opportuned to volunteer to work as an IT support. I wasn't getting paid yet, even though then I was still into continual personal development, whilst I was doing some other IT support recognized certifications. I don't want to mention the name in the session yet, but the problem is I feel like I'm stuck. I'm in a place where I don't get to make use of this knowledge, all these things that I do on my own, that I practicalize on my own. And it's crazy, all these things, but you don't get the opportunity to do them on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. So basically, for my own story, my own story is kind of peculiar because I'm now on the healthcare visa, and it's limited to
Yes.
you working in the healthcare sector alone. So I'm basically looking for an avenue where I can do like a sort of apprenticeship or a volunteer position where I can just take time off from work, meet with like minds, in a professional setting, say in a nutshell, just to get my hands dirty with all these acquired knowledge, you know, do them in real life. Basically, that's what I'm looking for. So I don't know if there is an avenue for that.
Should I?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
So yes, like you said, your case is a very, very specific scenario, which sadly there are quite a few people in similar scenario to yourself. And the answer I'm going to give you is not. I mean, unfortunately, it's very, very specific to you. I'm not sure how it would be helpful to other people listening. The issue is, even if you actually do get that opportunity to learn these skills, like we said, you said you have a background in your master's is in cybersecurity.
Yes.
But you haven't been on the post-study work visa routes, have you? You
No,
haven't
no.
been on that route. So,
No.
so you're basically just looking to get your hands dirty, and then potentially that will help you in securing maybe a job that's in cybersecurity. Because I think that's the only route that will allow you maybe kind of like a work permit. You wouldn't get one as an IT support analyst, but you might be able to get one as a cybersecurity person. So yes, again, this is part of what we are offering. Even though we said that the training is going to last for 6 weeks, we're not going to stop supporting people until they actually get a job, as long as they're ready to work with us. So this is a continuous development program, just like you said, you're undertaking one on a personal basis as well. So this is a continuous development program. It will be an avenue, an opportunity for you as well to interact with other people. You might even be able to, they might be able to even learn from yourself. The whole group or the whole cohorts might be able to draw from some of your skill sets. You'll be able to learn from other people as well. So this is the kind of thing we're actually proposing as part of this training.
Okay. Thank you very much. I will have to message to message the number on the screen after the class. But so far, I mean, the session has been really, really wonderful. I've learned a lot. Yeah, so far. Thank you very much, Ayinla.
Thanks, Olawale. Thanks. Mayowa, you raise your hand.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Mayowa. I thanks for this program. Actually, I'm an IT man. I've been in IT for a while. What I want to ask in this training, are we going to have virtual labs where we can, you know, have kind of a risk scenario that every member of a big study will be able to lay their own practical field? You know,
Yes.
a scenario like using the ping command, the hideout command.
Yes.
You know, like changing password in a domain community. You know,
Yes.
it's like troubleshooting the DNS, as you said, kind of.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll be having virtual labs.
Okay. Because virtual labs will help a lot of people.
Yes, where everyone will log on to a virtual PC, which will be joined to the domain. So we'll look at all this kind of stuff, whereby we add PC to domain, remove the PC from domain. Users can log in and map network drives on their virtual PC, etc. So yes, we'll be having virtual labs. Yes.
Yeah. Then like the first person, like you said, the UK experience will be very added advantage for every one of us, because for you getting a job in UK, they need UK experience. Because I know they do refer to the UK company probably you've worked with for accreditation or for certification or whatever.
For reference, you mean?
for reference, yeah, yes, for reference rather. So
Yes.
that would be a great advantage, and it's been a wonderful time, and I've learned one or two things. Probably most of the things is what I've learned before, but it really, it brought back my memory to really know new things that is in vogue now. So thanks. Actually, the virtual lab that I really wanted to ask, and you've answered me. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mayowa. Yes, as regards the package, probably I should just mention that again. What you get as part of the enrollment, you get the practical training, you get to work on a project, you get the mentorship, you get the support, interview preparation, and as I said as well, that all our courses are CPD registered, or CPD accredited, meaning they meet the professional standard, and even the certificate you get from us is recognized in over 60 countries. Also, interview preparation, and finally, you get work reference from us as well. Just to repeat that, yes. Thanks, Mayowa.
Yeah.
Rashid, you raise your hand.
The respected host and the facilitator and every other person on the call right now. I have just one question, and it is about, would there be a further community for us to ask further questions? I've gotten answers to some of our colleagues' questions that they could come to DM and ask questions that concerns them. I think virtually a lot of people would still have more questions, even for us that are in the field for a couple of years now. So would there be, because the present community we logged into this call from is a locked WhatsApp community. I mean, only admins could say anything whatsoever. So would there be a WhatsApp community in the future that would give us access to mix up and do this thing? That is one, sir. Then two, before you respond, may I humbly seek your indulgence to mention something? When the first, I wouldn't know if this is the first the first questionnaire actually, okay? When I was talking about, I think that person is being very curious that, just 12 days, like 2 weeks in a week for 6 weeks or so, that is 12 days. I think for every tech trainer, you would be fashioned with all tools that will be needed, including assignments. I think including assignments will be given. We've also many of us has passed through these stages, and we got a lot of training via these sessions and beautiful opportunities, but they don't leave us alone. So that is just for us to meet with our tutors every other day in the week. In fact, almost every hour, you continue to work on your own, being given assignments and get some things delivered, and they guide you through as mentor. So thank you very much.
All right, Rashid, as regards the WhatsApp group, the one that you belong now is a general WhatsApp group that we use for the overview session. But it's not everyone on that WhatsApp group that will enroll on this journey. So for those that will enroll for this particular program, there will be another WhatsApp group where you have direct access to the facilitator, where you can drop any questions, and also like-minded people will be on that WhatsApp group as well. And as regards support, task, assignments, all these things has been, figured out already. As I said, we want to take you from 0 to the level that you are comfortable with. And also, answering the question of 2 days a week. Yes, the training might be 2 days a week, but that doesn't mean anyone enrolled on this journey, their learning will be restricted to 2 days a week. No, because at the end of the program, whether 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you want to start competing with those who have been doing it in the industry for 1, 2, 3 years. For that to happen, you need to invest your own time into the process as well, meaning it has to be an everyday journey for you, not 2 days a week. and you get the support all the way as well. And as my colleague has said as well, your learning is not that it's ending in 6 weeks or in 8 weeks. You still belong, you still be part of the community, and support will still be given till you secure a job. So there's nothing to worry about. Everything has been figured out right from the very beginning, as in to your finish point as well, in regards to the task, assignment, getting your hands dirty. We've carefully, designed the course outline to include all those things. I hope that has answered your question. Nigel, sorry. Nigel, you raised your hand.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. Well, myself as an IT personnel, I recently graduated, but now I'm looking for opportunities to indulge myself in the required skills and knowledge and experience needed for an IT support role. So I don't know if you guys have a facility where you take people who are just willing to work for you or your affiliates for free just to gain experience, because some of us are just have just finished school, so we haven't had time to go and acquire to go on a job and raise money for the course. I don't know if you can facilitate with that. I'm willing with people like us who are just willing to gain experience for free, who work for free. We just need the exposure and opportunity.
Yeah, I understand you, but at the moment we don't have capacity for that. What we've got capacity for at the moment are the enrolled students, but in the future, we are looking into that as well, how we can probably help people, place people on internship to companies out there as well. But at the moment, we do not have capacity to do that. We can only manage the students under us to have that exposure. But you can join the WhatsApp group, and any information that we have regarding that will be passed on our WhatsApp group as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
In the future. You're welcome, Nigel. Sorry if I didn't say this right. Deepu.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, good
Hi.
afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. So, I have a doubt. So you are telling the overview of how this, the sessions are going on and what you are going to teach here. But my question is more concerned, like, what will be the syllabus you are covering? So, do you have any, syllabus which you can share with us? And you told that you are going to cover the cloud, because if you check in LinkedIn or wherever, even in Indeed or somewhere, you can check that even in IT support or tech support, network support, whatever it is. Office 365 is booming now. So, are you teaching cloud platforms, and what are the kind of syllabus you are covering here? So, can you give an overview about that?
Okay,
Oh.
I think I sent you an outline of what the program is. I don't have it on my computer right now, but I think I sent it to Aki can forward it to you or share it maybe in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, thank you so much. And one more thing. So just now you told that you don't have any option for an internship, and before that, for another guy, you told that you can give some work reference. So what is basically how you will give this work reference? Because if we don't have an option to work in real time environment, how this work reference will help us to get a job?
What we are saying is we only have capacity to take on the students under our umbrella. For those who enrolled, we can offer that service. But for those who are not enrolling, we don't have that capacity to
Okay.
take them on. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, good. I have a question. So in case if I'm joined with your course and I did for 6 weeks, So after that, can you provide me a real experience? Like that is what everyone needs. Yeah, because I have real experience in the technical field and I worked before, but not in UK. So I just recently moved to UK. So in case if I join with you, can you provide an internship or
Yes,
can you able to provide the real time experience for me at least for 3 or 6 months?
yes, that's correct.
Sorry, Dipu, where are you currently located?
Right now I'm in UK.
You're in the UK.
Yeah.
Yes,
And how long have you been in the UK for?
I'm just came before a month.
Okay, about 4 months, did you say?
1 month.
1
Just 1
month.
month.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. That won't be a problem, Dipo.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, and again, you can message me on the number on your screen for the other things you requested for.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dipo. Vij, you raise your hand.
Hi, sorry, I joined the session late. I was on night shift. So, sorry. Hi guys, my name's VJ. Right, I am born and brought up in the UK. My question to you is a couple of questions I've got. First thing, where are you guys based in the UK?
Based in Kent.
In Kent, yeah?
Yes.
Is it like a training center basically?
What is it?
Is it a training center basically?
So the office is in central London. But yeah,
Whereabouts in central London?
Shelton Street.
Shelton.
71 to 75 Shelton Street. But we work remotely.
Remotely. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Are you guys VAT registered on the company house?
We are registered, but not all companies are VAT registered. It's not mandatory to be VAT registered.
Oh, okay, right.
But yes, we are.
Okay. So basically, I've been doing IT support pretty much my whole life. And I'm from the company that I work for. It's a media company. Obviously, I can't give you the name of the company because of confidentiality and data protection. So what would be a benefit for someone like myself who's got experience in this field? How would I benefit from this course, and where can it take me in terms of progressing forward? Sorry, I joined the session late, but I'm just trying to understand exactly what's involved and how deep a level this course goes in terms of learning.
Sorry, did you say you're already working in IT? Can you be a little bit more specific as to your current experience?
I've got 15 years in IT. I'm basically a qualified service desk analyst. We manage the day-to-day support of the service desk. So we do a mixture of first, second, and third line support.
Okay, second and third line support.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, going by the duration that you've been doing this, I mean, I will assume that you should be in a position, in a capacity to be able to either progress your career in terms of it all depends on what your interests are. I mean, you said you've been doing this for 15 years. What do you enjoy most? Do you like dealing with database related issues? Do you like dealing with application issues?
No, I'm not a database person. I'm a person or programming person, or I'm a networking and hardware sort of person. So basically, I've been supporting the infrastructures, putting PCs together, supporting networks, installing infrastructure software, doing desktop support, troubleshooting, diagnosing, building, repairing, upgrading. Basically, what you guys say is IT support. I've been doing that pretty much my whole life, and obviously I know the ins and outs of the system where we support basically.
So yes, so now moving your career forward, it's now depending on how you yourself wants to move forward.
Right.
You have a lot of experience in networking stuff. You have a lot of experience in infrastructure stuff. You have a lot of experience in supporting application as well. You can decide you want to go down the application route. You might want to be an application specialist. You might want to be an infrastructure person. You might decide you want to apply the knowledge that you have in infrastructure into cloud infrastructure. You might decide you want to apply the knowledge that you have into going into networking in more details in networking. You might decide to go down the route of cybersecurity. But again, we cannot nudge you as to where you should go. You basically seems like you've covered all the basics. So
Definitely covered the base, 100%. I
it's
mean,
not left for you to decide based on
Yeah.
which of these roles you enjoy most is what you want to progress your career further. And then you can do either for the training or maybe at work, you can ask to be put with the team that you think you want to go down that route. But we are not able to, we can't really nudge you in that direction. You should know that by now. I haven't spent so much time in IT.
Oh, believe me, I know that because obviously the industry's changed quite a lot since when I got into it. Everything in terms of what you guys have spoken about, it's becoming all cloud-based, and it's becoming all, you know, Hyper-V based and cloud-based and AWS based. So obviously even now, the people like yourselves, who are, you know, introducing these courses and have got experiences around these courses, you guys would have come also from another background, but obviously you guys would have even realized that the industry is changing quite a lot. You've got banking sectors, public sectors, you've got ISPs, you've got everything around the UK. What they're doing to their IT infrastructure is that it's actually becoming more remotely supported, and it's actually becoming more cloud-based, and it's actually becoming more, AWS-based and cloud-based. So IT in general, the whole industry, if anybody knows it, it's probably me. It's actually becoming all cloud-based. It's not hands-on anymore, where, you know, you have servers and desktops and you go to work every day and you work on them. It's actually becoming more based in the cloud. So you have to base your career, excel your career around there, basically.
No, you're absolutely spot on in your breakdown. Yes, that is correct. A lot of services are moving to the cloud. Myself personally, I came from an IT A+ background more than 20 years ago.
A+, I'm very familiar with that. I'm still willing to do it with the Network Plus and the A+ and Security Plus, but people say that with your experience and your background, you should be thinking about more people management, or say project management, or handling contracts and doing IT contracts. And on the side, you should do IT support, because you're interested in IT support and you've been doing it for so long. You should now maybe switch. So you should keep your IT support on the side and do project management, and do maybe say more people management, more service desk management, because that's the kind of background that I'm from, basically.
Yeah, you see, all this, I mean, the suggestion, people can give you the suggestion naturally, looking at your trajectory, looking at where you're coming from, looking at what you've done, looking at the people you've interacted with at work. However, the decision or the determination to go to that next step, it has to come from you. It has to come from within you. It might be true that you have a project management skills, but are you actually willing to do what it takes to be a project manager? Are you in that edge space? So you get to a point where you have to decide what course you want to move ahead on.
It's just a question of moving to the next step now and understanding what it's all about, and then progressing from there, basically.
No, absolutely. If you feel more comfortable doing stuff related to cloud, like you said, you might want to do some more training focused purely on maybe cloud technologies, etc. Or maybe
cloud might be the only way, to be honest. It's all virtualization as well now, isn't it? Because even the courses that you guys, they're all virtual. They're set up by your people that are in the office in Kent. So it's all cloud and virtualization, and that may be the only way that people in IT support will have in terms of a choice to move forward. because obviously everybody wants, obviously, like, you know, you've got management who want to save nothing but budget and profit. So they'll think about the IT at one point, and
Yeah,
they'll be like,
but
how can we make this?
you're only looking at the infrastructure kind of side of things. But you're forgetting the fact that in addition to that, you still have the software side of things. Even though the software might reside in the cloud, but they still need people to actually manage the software. They need people to actually manage the application. This is where, so you said you've been working in which sector? Did you say media? Did you say media?
Yeah, media. Yeah. The place I support, the industry that the corporation I work for, they're media, and they've got an IT side of it as well, basically, which is where I am.
Okay, so now with your experience supporting infrastructure and software within the media space, you might be able to take your career forward in IT within the media sector. Does that make sense? Without going in depth into going cloud or whatever, because of the application knowledge that you have within the media sector, you will be more valuable to a media organization if you're coming on as an IT analyst, analyst that understands the media sector. So it's now a little bit different from being a box standard IT person. You are now focused on specific sector. That's the difference, because most of what I've done is within the healthcare sector, specifically medical imaging. As I said, currently I manage the AI center systems at the King's College Hospital. It's actually a big project. But yes, what I do, not everybody who has IT knowledge can do it, because my knowledge is specific now to medical imaging as a whole, either within the private sector or within the public sector. Maybe that's what you need to go down. That's the route you need to go down as well.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly. Yeah. The sessions that you have. Sorry, one more question. The sessions that you have in Kent, do we get a chance to come down and have a look to see how they're set up and carry out courses out there, or is it just purely all virtual?
It's purely virtual.
Purely virtual, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's all done from home, basically.
That's correct.
Right. Okay. And as well as IT support, you have other courses as well, don't you? So.
Yeah, we run other courses from project management to Scrum Master, product owner, data analysis, DevOps engineer, software testing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Vijay. All right, you're welcome. Adedamola, you raise your hand.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, please. I just have a couple of questions to ask regarding the enrollment processing and payment plan, and the last one is what certificates and what the awarding body for the certificate at the end of the course. Yeah, the payment process. What I mean by the payment process is, like you said, it's about $7.99 or something.
$7.99. Yeah, you get 40% discount, and also you can start with half payment, and the other half payment will be due in 2 to 3 weeks after starting.
So $7.99, and then 40% of the $7.99. That's what we pay.
Yeah, that's correct. That would be like $480.
Yeah. Okay. That's all right. And yeah, you can say that. Yeah. At the end of the course, what certificates and what's the awarding body?
All right. Let me show you that now. So, 1 second. Let me stop sharing for 1 second, and I will show you. I'll paste the link on the group as well, so that you can make further research about the company and the benefit attached to what you'll be getting. So this is the company. They are called CPD Standards.
CPD.
All right, and that's our company there. There are loads of company there as well. So I'll paste the link on the chat. You can read more about them, but that will be the awarding body. That will be the certificate that you'll be getting.
Yeah, is it going to be like a IT support certificates or
No,
like a network?
this is a continuous professional development certificate. So what we train on, this is not professional certificate, right? Because we train you on hands-on. We don't train to pass certification. If you still want to go and sit for certification, you still have to go and do that at your own time. But it's not the certificate that will get you the job. That's why we don't focus too much on the certificate. It's what you can exhibit. It's your experience, your knowledge, that will get you the job. So that's why, we focus on what is important. But because of majority still ask, oh, what certificate am I getting after completing your course? And I just don't want to give them, just a paper that is not of any value to them. That's why Learn with Pride has gone ahead to ensure that all the courses that we offer are, they are accredited by this body. At least the certificate will be recognized in over 60 countries as well. So yeah.
All right, that's right. Yeah, that's my question. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah, thanks, Adedamola. Hussein Abe.
Hi there, how's it going?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, hi there. So I'm just gonna ask, like, with the IT, are we just gonna learn about like the basic side of the thing, such as like hardware component and everything like that? Because I took a screenshot while on the A+ IT training outline.
Okay. Well, no. So the A+ training outline is just one piece of the puzzle. It's kind of the fundamental. So if you want to be an IT analyst, you absolutely need A+ IT skill set. So it's part of what we will learn. Of course, if you want to be an IT analyst, you need to understand how operating system works. You need to understand what the components of a computers are. You need to understand what memory is. You need to understand storage. You need to understand network. You need to understand all these things, and which is the component that forms the A+. So this is where we will be starting from. We will start from A+, and then build up the skill sets up to what other tools do you need to succeed as an IT analyst in terms of software troubleshooting skills, in terms of server troubleshooting skills, in terms of networking, storage, and every other piece of software that might be usable.
Yeah, because I'm not only trying to use because obviously Microsoft Windows has been used a lot, but I'm also trying to learn how to use something like the Mac or the iOS or anything like that. That's what I'm trying to use.
Well, I mean, most organizations that use the client side domain setup, they mostly run on Windows, as in literally most organizations. And the reason why we mention Windows is, again, most personal computers as well, they run on Windows. I know a lot of people use MacBooks as well, so iOS is a thing. Yes, that's totally understandable as well. However, for the corporate workplace, Apple does not have an equivalent of SQL Server or Windows Server. There isn't anything like that. Do you understand my point?
Yeah, I understand.
It's mostly personal computing when it comes to iOS, whereas when it comes to Windows, they're more client-server scenario. And then you have the likes of Unix-based system, Linux, Ubuntu, and all this other flavor of Unix as well. So yes, we'll learn something about Unix and Linux as well, but maybe not so much stuff like iOS or Mac. They're mostly, I mean, a lot of them are intuitive. If you know your way around Unix, or you know your way around Ubuntu, iOS has kind of like a shell side as well, where, if you don't want to interact with the operating system using the GUI, you can just go to a prompt and do things in the prompt. But again, you might not be able to do much if you are not very, very good with using command line or maybe like a shell scripting environment. So yes, the A+ is not everything that we'll be doing. It's just a part of what we will do.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Because I actually currently used to work in the first line role. So
Okay.
I'm trying. So there are a couple of things that sometimes when I take interview, I do get a bit nervous. So if you could like, obviously I'm trying to join this course to only trying to get improved on my interview, because some of the interview I takes, it does get a bit technical. So I would presume maybe if you guys maybe show me the rope how I would actually answer a question on the interview, that would be actually great.
Oh yes, totally. That's all part of what we'll do. I mean, we'll guide you as to what kind of questions will they ask you in interviews for jobs like this. We'll look at job adverts online for similar roles and look at what they require in the roles, and that will tell us what kind of questions they will ask you. Because the way support works, and maybe depending on specific requirement for a specific role, will determine what kind of questions they will ask. But all the questions can be preemptively figured out in terms of, they will ask you questions like this. They will ask you questions, have you done this before? If you find yourself in this kind of scenario, how would you go about troubleshooting it? What will you look at? This kind of thing. You see, IT is more about knowing how to troubleshoot things logically, as in you ask the question that users are having this kind of problem on a particular program. How would you go about troubleshooting this kind of issue? Once you get that logical mindset, it's very easy for the employer to know that they've got the right person. You're not looking at Z when you have a problem at A. You're looking in the right direction. It's only when you're not looking in the right direction, that is when it becomes a problem. So being an IT analyst means you understand what the problem is. You need to first of all understand what the problem is, and then go about looking in the right direction to get to the root of the problem. Like I said before, it might not be that you will be the one to actually fix it. The only thing you might need to do is to get to the root of the problem. Maybe all you need to do is actually get the log file and see the line in the log file that says authentication error. Maybe that's the only problem that's causing the issue. It might be that another team will be the one to actually fix the authentication error. But your job is done as an IT analyst. Users are having problems with a particular piece of application. You've drilled down to what is causing the problem, and you pass it on to the next people that will fix it.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's escalation. That's actually escalation, and that's what we do as a service desk. We have multiple systems within systems that we support and we don't support. If you can get to the root of the problem and find it, you put the pieces together, you log it, and then you escalate it to the people who can actually go and sort the issue out, basically.
Yes,
Yeah,
and the people that will fix that might not necessarily be people within the organization. It might be a third party, it might be the vendor.
Yeah, it could even be another PC or a server somewhere in another country, perhaps, and only the people who have access to the rooms can go and access it and restart it, for example.
Yes.
But you have to make sure that as an analyst, you have to make sure that the information you provide when you do triaging or troubleshooting, it has to be accurate and to the most most amount of detail. It has to be very descriptive. You have to analyze what you've done. You have to ascertain all the information, and whichever information you ascertain, you then pass that on. But it has to be very descriptive, because that's how the other person's going to know what the cause was, what happened, and what got to do. Otherwise, they're not going to know.
Correct. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, thanks. As I answered your question, Uzain. Or I guess yes. This is from Morakinyo on the chat. Do you have access to ServiceNow platform for this program, or which one are you going to use for the training purpose?
The platform we'll be using is called IT Help Desk. So we're not using ServiceNow, but it's similar. Like I said, all this. Can you hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. So yeah, the IT Help Desk software is similar to ServiceNow. They all fundamentally does the same thing. They're all connected to your CMDB. They're connected to Active Directory, so they have a list of all the users within the organization, both the staff and the employees. They have access to all the organizational system resources, computers, servers, laptops, etc. So they all do basically the same thing. So once you've used one, it doesn't really matter that you have used specifically. And even if you've used, so for example now, even if you've used ServiceNow, the way ServiceNow is deployed is different from one organization to the other. So you might have used ServiceNow before, and you find yourself in another organization using ServiceNow, but when you log into ServiceNow, you realize that you're looking at a screen that's completely different to what you've used before. So as a result of that, it's not so much about having used a specific piece of software. Again, it's just the case of you've used one before, you know what it does, you know how it works, and that's it. If you find yourself in an organization that uses something totally different, you will get the walkthrough. They'll give you a user guide on this is where we pick up tickets, this is where we assign it. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that.
All right, this is another question for you on the chat. Will all this be theoretical or practical based, or just slides presentation?
It will be practical based. Like I said, we'll look at, so for example now, the A+ parts, we'll look at, I mean, because this is virtual, some of this will be done theoretically in terms of what are the components of a computer, what are the parts, but in terms of building a computer, we will do some virtual labs whereby we will spin up maybe a server or a computer, we'll install the operating system, we'll do some configuration to kind of get the walkthrough from the beginning until the end. We'll work with virtual machines, we'll install software, we'll log on to some of these tools as well, and have hands-on feel for how it works. So it's not just slideshow. No. Like I said before, if anybody has issues that they have with their own computers, their laptops and stuff, feel free to share that with us. We can go through the troubleshooting steps ourselves, and we'll get to fix some of this ourselves. So yes, it will be a mix of practical, hands-on, and also explaining the way things work and practicalizing it.
Thanks. Nkafu, you raise your hand.
Well, thank you very much for this very informative session. I have about 2 questions in mind. For new people joining your course who have from a non-IT background, what are some of the challenges you've seen over your last trainings, and what advice could you give us to overcome those challenges?
Okay, thank you. That's a good one. So what potentially tends to happen is, you know, there are different categories of people. There are some people that even in their normal day job, their normal day-to-day, whatever job they do, maybe they work in the healthcare sector, or whichever sector, some people find it difficult to use, they try to stay away from computers as much as possible, unless their life absolutely depend on it. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Some people will rather let somebody else do something when it's relates to a computer. Whereas some people will be more than happy to say, oh yeah, you know what, don't worry, I'll do it. I've seen those kind of scenarios before. I've seen people whereby at work, even though the core of their job is nothing to do with computers, but when any aspect of their job involves working on the computer, they'll be the first person to go there. They will be the one to say, okay, don't worry, I'll do this, I'll do that, don't worry. Whereas you see some of the people that will rather let somebody else do it because they can't be bothered. So this is always the problem. The people that are always happy to go on a computer and you tell them, okay, yeah, everybody, can you please tell me your IP address? I'll expect, we will have talked about it before. If you come to class today and I say, can you tell me the path ping from your computer to Google website or to a particular website? You have to do it. If you don't do it, you won't be able to tell me the answer to the question. You have to do it. And the funny thing is, if you don't do it, if you look at somebody else that did it, they might get a different result from if you did the same thing. So you have to be, you do not shy away from computers. You have to get friendly. You have not just IT analysts. A lot of what we do, either in the software side or in the hardware side, it revolves around computers. We're helping businesses, we're helping organizations, we're helping educational institutes. Literally everything revolves around computers. So our job lies within the hardware and the software and helping the users. So you cannot be scared of computers. You wouldn't get far in this role. So basically, the challenge has been there are always two types of people. But the funny thing is, a lot of these people that have this, I wouldn't call it computer phobia. It's just that they try to do the absolute minimum when it comes to computer. When they come to class, they do the minimum. And then afterwards, they'll just put it aside. Because like I said, a lot of the skills that you learn here is not only limited to the workplace. You can practicalize some of the things that you learn, even when you're on the computer at home. Maybe you're using a computer and your computer crashes. When you restart the computer, there are places that you can look at within the computer to see what happened when the computer crashes, because everything that happens on the computer is logged against the time. So you know the time when the incident happened. You can go into a particular part of your PC to look at the log file. You see what it says there. Something crashed due to blah, 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 a memory problem, a hard disk problem. There was a wait on a particular process. So you have to be inquisitive. You have to be inquisitive enough to try to get to the bottom of things, because that's what we do every day. That's literally what we do.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that. And my last question would be, looking at an organizational structure, will you say the IT support team will be different from an organization leveraging agile like Kanban team? Would that be two different teams in that organization, or your Kanban team will act as an IT support team?
Sorry, can you come again?
Some organizations do leverage Agile and they use Scrum and Kanban to do their stuff. So the Kanban team will be doing that incident support, production incident support from the application or the software they're supporting. Would they have a separate IT support team, or that Kanban team would take care of all the issues coming through to that organization?
Well, again, this boils down to the specific organization and how it's structured. Whatever way they want to organize their support structure would determine how it's been put in place. Yes, of course, it could be in an agile environment, but again, we can't really control that. You as an analyst, you're there, they know what your skills are, they know what your skill sets are, but depending on what the organizational goal is, what do they want to achieve in terms of the support structure? What do they want to achieve in terms of being agile? How are they applying the agile framework to what they do would determine how the teams will be organized. And again, what you'll be doing as an analyst, it doesn't really change. It's just the way you're doing it might be different because of how the team is structured. So we really can't give you an answer to that question because it will be organizational dependent.
I see. So the manager for that department, if they are structured and agile way, could be a scrum master, and for career growth on the support side could be an IT support analyst manager, you will say?
Totally, yes. That's correct.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Nkofu. I think we'll take the last question on the chat. Please, is there any form of apprenticeship or volunteer opportunity for people that has gotten some level of professional training, but not just confident enough for job experience-wise? Although I don't know what sort of professional training you've gotten, whether it's only theoretical or practical, but enrolling on our own course, we ensure that all these gaps, are covered. You'll be able to get your hands dirty. And as my colleague has said as well, it's a continuous development. Even after 6 weeks, you still have somewhere to fall back on. We don't just leave you alone after that. So yeah. If you have any other, yes.
Hello, sorry, I'm a bit late. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, I just want to get the basis of this. Are we talking about system support whereby you look into the different application from Office 365 infrastructure, or are we talking about analysis in terms of implementation of applications or infrastructure in an organization? What the training specifically about, please?
So what we are basically teaching, you should have the skill set to succeed within an implementation environment or an ongoing support environment. Once you have the right skill set.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got that.
So for example, myself as a person, I've worked on both sides because I understand. Once you understand the way the software, the program is meant to work, understand things from the implementation side of things. I've implemented imaging application across lots of hospitals. So you understand how it works. You understand what the problem is, how to look at problems if there are issues. You understand best practice, but when you want to implement them such that it will go smooth, that doesn't mean there wouldn't be problems after post-implementation. But because it's followed the right path, you will be able to troubleshoot things in a more kind of logical manner. So yes, you have the right skill set. You can work on either side of the coin.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so maybe I should tell a little bit about my part, right? I've been opportunity to work on an environment whereby we're talking about system support. My major role is to build the system, deploy the system to the end user. From the desktop, laptop, tablet stuff, right? And I'm looking forward probably to go more into like infrastructure where we're talking about Azure Active Directory, SharePoint, all those stuff. I have opportunity to have a good understanding of the DevOps and DevOps tools, the philosophy of DevOps, right? So I'm just like in the middle of the whole thing. To me, like I need to choose one. I need to know what I want to do. Can I be easily learn something like Active Directory and go deeply into infrastructure, and from there I can move into DevOps, as in spring up instances, right? Or deploy infrastructure. So I'm kind of looking for training that fits those gaps and I can move me forward, if you get what I mean.
Yes, I do get what you mean. But again, this goes back to what one of the previous attendees mentioned. Depending on what you've done before, depending on what you enjoy doing mostly in your job, you will be the best person to determine which route you really want to go down. If you're a person that really likes system administration, or maybe you like dealing with Active Directory stuff, you might want to go down the AD system admin route. If you're somebody that enjoys more of infrastructure stuff, you might want to go down that route, maybe within the cloud. You also mentioned Azure and stuff like that. Again, of course, it gets to a point whereby you have to be technology specific. You have experience working with Azure. Maybe your last 5 roles has been working with Azure technology. Then it will only be natural for you to take a role that involves Azure technology, Microsoft. If you're working with another technology. So, but again, these are things that you have to be the one to determine which route you really want to go, with what you enjoy most.
So if I get you right, taking this training will equip me enough to like do the infrastructure stuff, and from there I can move into the DevOps. I don't know what's the content of this.
It's more about the application side of things. It's more about the software side. It's more about supporting the software. But again, to do that, you need to have understanding of a bit of the hardware as well. You need to have a bit of the infrastructure as well. You need to understand what client server application is. You need to know how to troubleshoot the client server application. You need to understand load balancing. You need to understand when applications fall over from one node to another node. Again, but we're not going to do full-fledged infrastructure. No, just enough for you to understand the technology that, okay, this kind of issue could be maybe something related to a memory, a CPU issue on the server. Maybe this issue is something to do with memory. Maybe a buffer is full somewhere. But yes, just enough for you to be able to carry out your job supporting software and application programs.
All right, that's fine. That's what I'm looking at as well. Right. So at least I can move from my normal deployments into like second line, third line support.
Yes,
right?
yes, absolutely.
That sounds good. Thank you so
From
much.
what you said before, you said you do deployment. So that means you do application packaging, packaging software, pushing it to computers. So yes. I mean, I think naturally would be to maybe go into proper application support, as in specific. Now it might be SQL Server, it might be Oracle, it might be a specific application, not just pushing software out. Yes.
Okay. Do you have what application are you trying to teach on this precise? Do you have?
We'll touch on quite a few. We'll touch on database. We'll touch on operating systems. We'll touch on quite a few stuff.
All right, that's nice. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Nice to be. You're welcome, Lekon. For any other question outside this training, you can message the number on your screen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oluwaseun, I can see that your question has been answered on the chat as well. Because of our time, we'll be rounding up. So the start date for this training will be on the 12th of August. That's when it will be starting. So for any enrollment questions, please send a message to this WhatsApp number, and we will take you from there. So thanks everyone for your time today. We hope that you've been able to get one or two things out of the session, and hopefully we can see you on the journey as well, where we can try to rewrite the stories together. So thanks again for your time. For those who is interested in the video, it will be, or the recording rather, it will be available on our YouTube channel at Learn with Pride. Also, those that join the WhatsApp group, we're going to post it on the WhatsApp group as well. So thanks everyone, and hopefully I'll see most of you on the journey. Thanks for your time today, and have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.